we are gonna set up this incubator today. I don't normally incubate eggs in the summertime, but we're going to this year. We have taken a break on our homestead for about a year now, and it's time for the break to be over, and I'm excited to have baby chicks on the farm. My kids are beyond thrilled. I'm actually kind of surprised, other than the fact that mom told them to go play outside, they were getting a little wild. Normally they would be right here with me doing this, but they've done this quite a few times. We are using the IncuvView egg incubator. I've used this for quite a number of years. I really love this model, and to be honest, I think I've gotten spoiled on it because it just works so well. My friend owns it, and then she just allows me to borrow it, and I'm really thankful for that. She did get a humidifier kit for it, but I'm gonna test it without it, and if I change my mind, I'll add it in later, and I'll let you guys know if I want to add it in. But today I don't have the brain power to learn something new, so I'm just gonna do what I know to do. It has, well, I'll show you all the pieces for it here in just a little bit, and for now I'm just gonna go ahead and get the eggs in it. So I've been collecting these eggs over about 5 or 6 days. These are from our chickens. Mostly our flock is Buff Orpington crossed with Wyandotte. So I like the Wyandottes because they have rose combs, which means that they're really short, and so they don't get frostbitten as easily. The Wyandottes do lay more eggs than the Buff Orpingtons, but the Buff Orpingtons have a better size on them if you're going for a dual purpose breed. And I personally have found them to do really well on our farm. So we do have a couple others, like this one is for a copper Moran that I got eggs from and hatched. So that must have been 2 years ago. And then I think I still have one salmon Favrel chicken. Favrel, I don't really know how you say that. Feel free to correct me in the comments, but this is her egg. Most of that, I think I only ended up with 2 salmons when we did it the first time that were female, and the rest of them were roosters, so it was a little bit brutal, but she lays pretty consistently. She's just really small, so I'm gonna stick with the eggs that we know. I have 24 eggs here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put them into the incubator. Normally I do this in my bedroom, but our room is not a very consistent temperature right now because it's so hot upstairs, so we're gonna try it down here and see how it goes. So when you're putting the eggs in here, you gotta make sure that they go in lengthwise and not widthwise, otherwise they won't turn correctly. I think we can fit up to 24 or 26 eggs in here, but we're not gonna put that many. Oh yeah, look, this is so cute and so tiny. That's the size of those little salmon Favrel eggs. If I'm saying it wrong and it's driving you nuts, I'm really sorry. I do think it's rather perfect, even though I didn't plan this, that I'm wearing my Love My Brood shirt while I am putting my new chickens in here. They're gonna be a little bit tight at first, and I actually don't mind that because as we go, some of them may or may not end up being viable. So we'll test them out. We'll just have to watch that they don't shift too much in here, but they'll be just fine. Okay, I'm gonna put the lid back on here. It's gonna take me a little time to make sure that the humidity is correct in here. We're going for 35 to 55, and currently it's at 42, so I'm happy with that. So for our eggs, we've been collecting them, like I said, for about 5 or 6 days now. We've kept them in a cool cupboard, and the temperature is usually, I like 55 degrees, that's pretty good, but a range of 50 to 55 is fine. I think you can go all the way up to 65 and it's not a problem. If you've ever used an actual chicken to hatch your eggs, you know that the temperature shifts a lot. Like, it's not like this. And so they're pretty forgiving, especially chicken eggs. I find that they're not that hard. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave these in here just like this. I'm gonna keep an eye on this humidity and the temperature, and then about 10 days in, because you can do it at 7 days, but I like to do it at 10 days because it gives the kids a little bit more something to look at. We will candle these eggs and see if they are any good, if they are fertile, if they're growing, and if they've stopped growing, we're gonna pull them out. If they were never fertile, we're gonna pull them out, and then we'll leave the rest of them in there, and then those ones we'll just have to throw away. If you have pigs, we like to feed our old eggs that didn't do anything. We feed those to the pigs. That works really well. Yeah, I don't know. It works pretty good. You don't want to leave them in your incubator. Some people have had issues with exploding eggs, and that just means, like, you know, they're bad and then they pop. I have never had one actually explode in the incubator before, but I have had one that like started stinking really bad, and that was after a couple of days of being candled, and it was fine, and then it stopped growing toward the end of the incubation. So that can happen. So just keep an eye on that, know how it smells, and yeah, it works pretty good. I will keep you guys updated with this process, and of course we'll show you when they're all hatching. Ooh. Ooh, no, just kidding. We're in the bathroom today to candle the eggs. We started them about 11 days ago or so. We like to wait to candle because it's just easier to see everything that's going on in there. If you're going to candle, so we actually pulled this out of the area that it's in order to make it a little bit easier for us to see it. Hopefully it will work for you guys as well. I do have a egg carton here. We're going to put any of the bad eggs into this egg carton and pull them out of our incubator at this time. So we're going to kind of move quickly because the incubator is unplugged right now, and it has to stay at a pretty consistent temperature and humidity level. I'm just going to pull the lid off. I don't know how much of this you guys are going to be able to see, but we're going to do our best. No, there's no cracks yet. Okay. I don't actually have a candler, but that's okay. So what we're looking for, do we have okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that there's this air pocket in here. That's a good sign. And then usually in the dark spaces, you'll see some veins. It's a little difficult with this particular flashlight, so I may have to try this again. I don't see the check. I don't see the veins. I just see it really dark. So we're gonna call it okay, and hope for the best here.
Let's do this one next.
So I do have a good air pocket on this one here at the bottom, and it's nice and dark all the way around. That is one of the things about candling a little bit later, is if you've got darker eggs, it can be a little trickier. So this is a little lighter. There we go. We've got a good vein on here. So you have the air pocket in the bottom, the veins going through here, through the egg. I know they're really hard for you guys to probably see. I don't know if you can even see them. And then, so the chick is developing in here, and there's even more clear space.
Can I tail those?
No, we're not going to focus. These are the ones we want to save.
Mom, can you do this?
Yep, so this is another really good one.
Are we got Incubating?
Here you go. There's a good one for you to see. So you've got nice, good veins there. Sometimes you'll even see movement in dark spaces. If it's a big like blood spot or splotch, that's not a good thing. You want to pull it out. So we're just going to go through and we're going to check all these out. Watch your arm. We're just going to make sure they're all put in here correctly. So far, so good.
Are these duck eggs and chicken?
No, these are all chicken eggs.
But
That's a little chicken croak. Can you see?
I can't see the meat. The feathers.
No, they don't have feathers yet.
Is that a vein?
Mm-hmm. Do you see the little red lines?
Yeah.
There's a little chick.
Is that a vein? Underneath Bumblebee and Snow White and It's not hot.
Okay, so this is an example. This is why we candle right here. So you can see the yolk floating around in there. You see absolutely no veins. There is an air pocket in the bottom, which all eggs have. So this is what we're looking for. We need to pull these out because sometimes, like especially on a long incubation, like with ducks or turkey eggs or something, this egg may end up exploding in the incubator. So we're gonna just pull that guy out. That just means that it never got fertile. There was never a chick growing in it. That was a bad egg. It will start to stink in there if you let it go long enough. We have been very blessed not to ever have any egg explode, but we have had a really smelly egg. So we're gonna get the lid back on here. I'm gonna make sure that all these eggs are in the right positions. We only had to pull one out, which is really exciting.
Mom, here's a bathroom.
And I'm gonna go plug this incubator back in. So the great news about using the IncuvView incubator is that when you unplug it, or if it accidentally gets unplugged, or if the power goes out, it remembers all of your settings from before. And that I find is a really handy thing. So everything's good. We're on day 10, not day 11. So we started these 11 days ago. So we've got 10 more days till hatch day. 2 days before hatch day happens, we will go down on lockdown mode, which means you raise the humidity up and you just make sure you don't really open. I take this little plug out of the top of it. It has this little hole in here, and that lets a little bit more of the humidity escape. And I usually put that in for the last 2 days. You have to watch it a little bit, but I've used this incubator enough times, I've been really blessed with it, that I've just gotten to know it pretty well. So if you're looking at getting an incubator, I highly recommend the IncuvView incubator. It has been honestly a dream to use. We will bring you along for hatch day and show you how that goes. We're so excited. Only 10 more days, so we're going to be probably getting our brooder box all set up and ready to go when we go down on lockdown mode on here, and that way we'll be all ready for our baby chicks. Kids, Maggie, how are you feeling about having new chicks again? Are you excited to have new more baby chicks? They love baby chicks. So thanks for hanging out with us today. We'll see you guys again soon.